ideal balance between work and life.
Yes.
That balance for me must tilt towards life more than work. You talk about balancing it,
Yes.
but for me, your priority should be life. And when I'm talking of life, I'm not talking about your life alone, but the life of other people surrounding you. You have a wife, you have children, maybe there's a community where you minister, Sometimes we focus too much on work and then we miss out in the lives of our children. I can tell you, for instance, I got married in 1994. We had our first child in April 1995. I resigned my job April 1995.
To do what?
I wanted to be part of, one of the reasons, to be a part of the life of my children. I needed more time. I wanted more time. Actually, the work, I felt that I was not being fully used and I could do better. But it turned out to be a very good decision because I had more time. I bonded with my children. By the way, the young man that said that I'm his role model was our firstborn. It was the month he was born that I left my job and I spent time with him. So I bonded, grew up with him, grew up with all my children. So if I was still working, by the way, so you could say it was a balance, but my balance tilted more. I prioritized family, I prioritized life. A lot of people will work until retirement, and the day they are leaving, they have to carry them to the hospital. That is not a balance. I think you should think about life. Don't be slothful in your job, but prioritize life. So my own idea of life-work balance is life first, work next.
So if you can think of just one, is there anything that stops you from achieving your ideal balance between work and life?
Anything that stopped me? I would say no, because I always felt that everyone has the power of choice. And that choice that I made me to go and resign. I recall that when I submitted my resignation letter, management could not understand why I was resigning. I had 3 separate meetings with them. They wanted me to convince them why I was going. And they even asked me that they could help me get another job. But I knew I didn't want another job. You understand? So, I can't point at anything that stopped me from it because I believe decision is yours, is a choice. And anything you call an obstacle is what you accepted as an obstacle. If you say this thing is not going to be, because the question will be, how are you going to feed? You just had a new big child. Where are you going to get the money? That will have been an obstacle, but I told myself, no, I'm going to do it nonetheless. So I can't recall any obstacle.
Do you think as a Christian, we should mingle in the affair of politics? Should Christians mingle or, be fully involved in politics? Or should we just stay away from politics?
Well, you say we live in this world, but we are not of the world. What that is simply saying is that you are here on earth, but don't follow the world system. That's all it says. Because Jesus Christ was praying in John chapter 15. He said, I'm not asking that God should take you away. You are going to live here. I believe that Christians should be involved in politics. What is politics? The political process is about choosing leaders, people who will represent other groups. And who better to do that than someone who has Christ shining within him? When we are quiet, we leave room for evil to thrive. When Christians don't present themselves as viable candidates, then you allow, people that have evil motives to govern the people.
Yes.
And so God is interested in who becomes the leader. If God is interested in it, why won't he want one of his children to be the leader? You know, righteousness exalts a nation. Sin is a reproach to a people. So if righteousness is going to be enthroned, is it going to be the evil leader? No, it will have to be one of his children. So I'm fully in agreement with the idea of Christians being involved. It's a different thing if you talk about maybe a pastor or a minister, but Christians definitely need to be actively and very involved. In fact, they should not just vote, they should put themselves out to be voted for.
So that they will be able to make the right decision.
Exactly.
The one like it is going to be that, do you think it's okay for a pastor of a church or a leader in the church to influence their member of whom to vote?
Okay, who to vote for? Now, that's a very important question you have asked, because in every church, members of opposing parties will be in the church. And it's not a good thing for a pastor to be divisive by supporting one party against another party. The job of the pastor is to highlight what standard the scripture agrees with and allow the members to compare that standard with the manifestos of each of the parties and make their decision. So in other words, a pastor should not decide for his members who they should vote for. His job is to let us know what is the Bible standard in different areas of life, whereby the members can hear that and then look at who is the better leader that can get this to be done, and then allow them to do make their choice. Otherwise, if you choose one particular party, then you are alienating the other members in the church that are in the other parties. So we should try not to be partisan as a leader in the church.
On that question, before we move on to the next, and this is just by the way, do you think you can be a Democrat and at the same time be a Christian in America?
Oh, absolutely. You can.
Okay.
Absolutely, you can. So, I've answered the question.
Yeah.
Let me see if you have a follow-up question to that.
Yeah. Looking at...
And the reason why I said that is that you can be a Republican and be a son of the devil.
Yes, that's for sure.
Okay, so it's being a child of God is not the exclusive right of any party.
I asked that question based on the fact that as a Christian, there's a lot of things we more or less like a value, a standard as a Christian. And when I look at that value, when it comes to Democratic Party, I realize, can you be a Christian and at the same time be a Democrat and support all this value that they believe in, which is actually contrary to the value as a Christian?
Okay, so I think I understand where you are going, Looking at the programs of each of the parties, each of the party has programs that are pro-scripture and anti-scripture. And that is for both Democrats and Republicans. Because, the complaints that I generally hear more about the Democratic Party is the fact that, a large number of them, I say a large number, not all of them, probably supports abortion and maybe some other things that scriptures prohibit in terms of lifestyle. And it will appear that on the other party, they tend to be more against abortion and all those things, right? All right. But if you also look at the Democratic Party, you will see a lot of their programs that tends to look more like the programs that Jesus Christ ran when he was here on earth. Right? So Jesus Christ will say, look, okay, we are going to preach to these people, but they are hungry. Let's go and feed them. All right? Jesus Christ will look at a woman and say, look, where are your accusers? No one. I also do not condemn you. They were designed to lift the poor, lift those that are downtrodden, which if you come to this other side, even though we say, oh yeah, this is scripture standard, when it comes to helping the poor, they are just not part of your priorities. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that in each party, you can see pro-scripture program and anti-scripture programs. So it's only God that can really help us to know, because to me, I mean, why can't you be pro-scripture and also help the poor? Because at the point Jesus Christ said that, look, you guys, you say, pay tithe, do that, but you are living the acts of mercy. Compassion. So you cannot always say, look, God is my father, but when it comes to this, no. He said that, how can you say you love God that you cannot see if you are not loving the human being you can see? Your love is questionable.
If we have to look at this generation of the children that we have, how do you think church will be able to stay relevant in attending to their need? Because it seems like they're no more interested in church, or probably maybe they feel like church is not, it's kind of dated, like a cake, maybe something that they are no more interested. It's not speaking to their value or their need. What do you think church can do in being relevant in attending to their needs so that we can bring them back to God?
Okay, that's a very good question. The younger generation, they are displaying a lot of apathy to the things of God. And there are many reasons for that. So you also need to check their parents. Because if you are a parent, a child will first of all take from you. If you have a parent that is just nominal, not here or there, you are likely going to see a child that will likely move further and further away. That's one. Two, the kind of dispensation and environment that they grew in exposed them to a level of information that was not available in the earlier days than when we were growing up, for instance. At least when I was growing up, I never saw a pornographic material until my elder brother brought a magazine that called Playboy. And I opened it, I'm like, Now, you don't need any child to look for a magazine today. While he's doing his homework, something can pop up.
Easily accessible.
So we see all that, and many of those things have added to the kind of situation that we are seeing with the younger generation. That said, the church still has to look at what is the best way to reach out to them. And I want to believe that the younger generation, they are looking for authenticity. They are looking for opportunity for open dialogue. When we were growing up, you really could ask your parents why. If you ask why, you get a slap. But today, they want to know the reason behind everything that you're asking them to do. So the church must be ready to provide answers. The church must be ready to stop majoring in things that are not so important and asking what are the things that are bothering these younger people and begin to refocus on those kind of areas. The church needs to embrace technology because many of them, the day they were born, it was a phone that they used in taking their picture. So they are digital citizens, And then if you have parents that didn't even know how to operate, so there's a gap. So the church also needs to bridge that gap, come into their space, understand them better, and attend to the needs of the younger ones. I can tell you, the younger generation is more accepting. They will accept what you bring to them. It's the most accepting generation in all the generations that have been. They are ready to accept any kind of lifestyle, whether it's any sexuality. They are ready. They believe more. They are more accepting of same-sex marriage and all these other things. And in the same way, they are accepting of anyone or any information that can address their question. And the church should see that as an opportunity to come and engage with them.